Hi, I'm Lorraine. Welcome to the District Yoga. Today in our myofascial release practice, we're going to need 2 balls. You could either use myofascial balls, or if you don't have any of those, tennis balls work great. You will need 2 of the same size, so whatever you have, make sure they are the same size. We're going to start today with a nice breath work practice. So really quick, we'll get into the breath and just a little bit of pranayama. So find yourself in a comfortable seated position. Make your way there, either a comfortable cross-legged seat, or if you'd like to sit on a block or a blanket or anything like that, find that. And then just bring the hands to the knees or to the lap and let the eyes close. Just start to notice the breath here. We'll start out by just noticing. Notice where it is. Is it shallow? Is it deep? Is it in the chest? Is it in the throat? And if you can, we're just going to start to deepen as you inhale. Slowly allow that breath to release out as you exhale. Inhale, take as much air in as you can. Exhale, draw that air out of the belly. And we're going to start by coming into a 4-count breath. So we'll just take the inhale for 4, and we'll take the exhale for 4 as well. No holding at the top or the bottom. So let's go ahead and get that started. If you're with me, inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep it going. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Counting at your own pace. Keep the breath counting. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. A couple more rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Last 2. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Last exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Take an inhale. Exhale through the mouth. If not already, gently blink the eyes open. Notice the sense of ease in the body. And we're going to stay seated for our first myofascial technique. We're not going to use the balls quite yet. We will get to that. We're just going to use our hands as we start to create some depth and space through the side ribs. So we're going to start on the right side first, and I'm going to start with my thumb. You can either use your 2 pointer fingers or your first 2 fingers or your thumb. I'm going to start with my thumb, and we're going to start at the highest rib that you can find. So find and wedge your thumb in between those ribs. And then from here, we're just going to inhale really deep. Exhale, let that go. Stay here again. Inhale as you feel the rib expand. Exhale as you let the thumb sink a little deep into that space. So creating a little bit more. Stay here, 1 more. Finding that space there. Crawl down to the next rib you can find. And again, wedging that thumb in between, or the 2 pointer fingers. Inhale. Exhale that out. Inhale. Exhale. Moving a little bit quicker, moving down towards the next rib, and it might feel a little bit smaller. Coming to the next spot. If there's a place that you feel like you want to stay, you can. Inhale. Maybe a nice little nugget. We're making your way down to the bottom ribs. Noticing that we're just creating space through the ribs here. Inhale. I'm going to go ahead and switch to my 2 fingers and finding my way to my last couple ribs. This is going to be my last one I can find. Inhale. Just gently release that right hand down and just close the eyes. I just want you to notice. Notice the differences between the right side and the left. Is there more space? Do you feel more circulation on one side versus the other? Maybe it feels a little bit taller or more spacious. Just notice, being aware. Maybe the left side is screaming that it wants its turn. Take an inhale. Stay for the exhale. We'll switch sides, so taking the the left hand, and finding that top rib. Finding the one that's highest that you can find, and go ahead and planting that thumb or 2 pointer fingers in between the rib space. Take an inhale. Let that draw out. I'm going to stay here. Exhale. I'll move my hand down. You can decide. Finding that space and trying to create just a little bit more. Moving your way down. If you need to switch to the 2 pointer fingers, you can. If you need to stay in any place, again, you're more than welcome to. Whatever feels best for you. We're just finding the space through those ribs. On the exhale, releasing in. If you need to switch to the pointer fingers, you can. Finding those last couple ribs. Take one more breath. Release the hand down. Let the eyes close. And again, just take some time to notice. Maybe now the sides feel a little bit more symmetrical. Maybe you feel circulation moving through the space of the ribs. Maybe you feel a little bit taller. Take your last breath in. Full breath out. And from here, before we start to move, we're going to move on to our belly. But before we do, I'm just going to show you where we're going to place those myofascial balls. We're going to take them and place them below the lowest rib. So below the lowest rib, they're going to be about 2 inches apart, depending on your frame. Mine are a little bit closer than 2 inches, but roughly 2 inches apart. We're going to place them right underneath those ribs when we're going to lay down on them. So find your way onto your mat, onto your belly, bringing either the tennis balls or myofascial release balls underneath one rib at a time. And then finding that here. Again, noticing that there is space between both balls. And then just slowly make your way onto your belly, bringing the elbows out, letting the hands create a nice little pillow for you. And you'll notice right away, if you need to adjust the balls, you can. But you'll notice right away that as you let the body sink onto the balls kind of sink up and in to the ribs. So we're just going to kind of try to clear out and allow the fascia to rejuvenate itself here. So if you can, I want you to take a big breath in, press the balls away. And then as you exhale, let the balls just sink in slow. It might feel like they're sinking up and in towards the ribs. Inhale, press the balls away. Exhale, allow them to sink back in. And we're just going to stay here for about 60 seconds. So you decide if you need to breathe any deeper. If you want to make any adjustments, you might want to come on to the forearms. And again, it's just a loose lift up onto the arms. The elbows can splay out a little bit. If it's too much, you can come back on to your hands. But again, pressing the ball away as you inhale. Allowing the balls to sink up and into the ribs as you breathe out. And then again, just starting to try to give that fascia a little bit of massage. The muscles and fascia under the ribs. The abdominal wall. Finding a sense of rejuvenation. Last couple breaths. So as we do this myofascial release, we're just trying to rehydrate the tissues. Although I never want this to be painful, so if it's ever painful, back off. Last inhale. Bottom belly exhale. Let the ribs take the ball in. If you're on your forearms, slowly splay the elbows out. We're going to release the balls off to the side. And then we're going to come onto our backs. So come onto your backs. We're just going to take some time to notice. Maybe notice the space right underneath the ribs. Noticing any sense of circulatory changes. Maybe even a little warmth. Maybe you notice some space. Maybe you even envision the sense of rehydration of your tissues. Take your last couple breaths. And I'm going to show you where we're going to place the balls next. So we're just going to move down the front of the body just a little bit more. We're going to come back onto our bellies, but we're going to bring the ball roughly about an inch in between this bone that you have here by the pelvic bone. It's going to be about an inch inside of that. So we're going to touch into the hip flexors once we get there. So definitely touching into the front of the body with this myofascial release practice. So once you get there, you're going to adjust it as you need. Come onto your bellies. Placing one ball, again, to the inside of that pelvic bone, ASIS, just about an inch. So find that. Again, if you need to make any adjustments, absolutely find what feels right. And then again, options to just come and lay on the belly, bringing the hands underneath the forehead. That can be okay. If you want to come back up onto the forearms, that might feel nice as well. That might give you a little bit more depth, a little bit more pressure into the balls. And then again, we're just going to stay here and breathe. As you inhale, you press the balls away, almost like a bit of a contraction on the balls. Exhale, release as you breathe out. So finding your breath pattern and what feels right, either onto the forearms or just back on to the pillow of your hands. This definitely touches into that hip flexor area where we tend to store a lot of tension. So this might feel nice for you, especially if you sit a lot or you drive a lot in your car. Just breathing. Letting the fascia start to rehydrate. Feeling this sense of stimulation and rejuvenation. Again, if you want to envision that contraction as you inhale, you can contract the belly and the hip flexors onto the balls, pressing the balls into the mat. And then as you breathe out, you just allow that to release. Not here much longer. Let's say 5 more breaths. Take your last inhale. Let the balls just sink back in one last time. Slowly, if you're on your elbows, make your way onto your belly, hands underneath the forehead. Just go ahead and remove one ball at a time. And then again, we're going to make our way back onto our backs. And then this will be it. We'll just notice the shifts. Notice as the tissues come back in. The sense of rehydration of the fascia. Rejuvenation of those hip flexors. Maybe a shift in the tissues, maybe some warmth in that area. If you'd like to stay for a little Shavasana, you absolutely can. Otherwise, we'll say that is it for our myofascial release practice today. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for sharing your energy. We'll see you again.